Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad you're here today. And if this is your first time stopping by, please hit that subscribe button. Maybe ask your kids or grandkids to help you turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any of my upcoming videos. I love sharing tips that can help us all live better, especially as we get a little older. Today, I've got something really special for you. Don't eat oatmeal with these 5 things if you don't want trouble. Tips for seniors. Now, oatmeal is one of those foods we all hear about, right? Doctors love it. Nutritionists rave about it. It's good for your heart, great for digestion, and helps keep your blood sugar from jumping all over the place. For us seniors, that's gold. But here's the catch. Folks, if we don't eat it the right way, if we mix it with the wrong things, it might not do us any good at all. In fact, it could even cause some problems we'd rather avoid. So, I'm going to walk you through 5 things you should never pair with oatmeal, and I'll explain why in a way that's easy to follow. Let's get started. 1. Sweetened condensed milk. Too sweet isn't good. First up is sweetened condensed milk. Oh, I know how tempting this one is. A lot of us love pouring that thick, sweet condensed milk over a warm bowl of oatmeal. It's like a hug in a bowl, especially on a chilly morning. I'll confess, I used to do it all the time myself. Back when I was raising my kids, I'd make oatmeal for breakfast and drizzle condensed milk on top because it was quick, affordable, and everyone loved the taste. It felt like a special treat. But folks, I've since learned that this is one habit we need to kick, and here's why. Condensed milk is absolutely packed with sugar, way more than you might realize. Just a couple of tablespoons can have as much sugar as a candy bar. Now, when we were younger, maybe our bodies could handle that kind of sweetness without blinking. But as we get older, things change. Our blood sugar doesn't bounce back as fast. And our pancreas, that little organ that keeps sugar in check, has to work harder. When you mix condensed milk with oatmeal, which already has natural carbs that give you energy, it's like pressing the gas pedal all the way down. Your blood sugar spikes fast. And that's tough on your whole system. Over time, it can wear you out and even lead to diabetes, something we really want to avoid. Let me tell you about my friend Mary. She's 72 now, lives just a few streets over, and she used to swear by her oatmeal with condensed milk every single morning. She'd say, "It's my little indulgence, keeps me going." But after a few years, she started feeling tired all the time, and her doctor ran some tests. Turns out her blood sugar was creeping up, and he told her she was on the edge of prediabetes. She was shocked because she thought oatmeal was supposed to be healthy. The doctor explained it was all that sugar from the condensed milk sneaking up on her. She had to cut out completely, and now she's feeling better, but it was a wake-up call. And that's not all, folks. Too much sugar doesn't just mess with your blood. It turns into fat, especially around your belly. That's the kind of fat that can clog your arteries and make your heart work harder than it should. At our age, we need to keep our hearts happy, not stressed. So, instead of condensed milk, try something gentler, a splash of unsweetened milk, like regular milk or almond milk if you're fancy. If you still want that sweetness, a little honey or some mashed up fruit like bananas or apples does the trick without sending your body into overdrive. It's a small swap that can make a big difference. 2. Orange juice. Good, but not together. Next on the list is orange juice. Now, this one might catch you off guard because it sounds so innocent, doesn't it? Orange juice is full of vitamin C. It's bright and cheerful, and we've all been told it's a healthy way to kick off the day. Pair it with oatmeal, and you'd think you got a powerhouse breakfast. Good for your bones, good for your energy, good for everything. I used to think that too, folks. For years, I'd sit down with my bowl of oatmeal and a big glass of orange juice, feeling like I was doing my body a favor. But then I started noticing something wasn't quite right, and I dug into it a little deeper. Here's the deal. Oatmeal has something called phytate. It's a natural compound in grains, and it's not a villain, but it does have a downside. Phytate grabs onto minerals like calcium and iron and holds them tight, making it harder for your body to absorb them. For us seniors, that's a problem because we need calcium to keep our bones from getting brittle. You know how a little stumble can turn into a big deal as we age. And iron to keep us from feeling worn out all the time. Now, orange juice is acidic, and when you drink it right alongside your oatmeal, that acid stirs things up in your stomach. It can break down some of the phytate, sure, but it also irritates your digestion. I found this out the hard way. After my oatmeal and orange juice mornings, I feel bloated and gassy for hours, sometimes even a little heartburn. It wasn't pleasant, folks. Let me share a real example. My old neighbor, Mr. Thompson, he's 78 now, used to love his oatmeal with a tall glass of orange juice every day. He'd sit on his porch, sipping away, telling me it was his secret to staying young. But then he started complaining about stomach aches and feeling off. He went to his doctor, who asked about his habits. And when he mentioned the oatmeal and orange juice, the doctor shook his head. Turns out that combo was too much for his sensitive stomach, and it was causing inflammation that could have turned into something worse, like an ulcer, if he kept going. He switched to drinking his orange juice later in the day, and he says he hasn't felt this good in years. So here's my advice, folks. Keep them separate. Eat your oatmeal first. Let it settle in your stomach for 20 or 30 minutes. Maybe enjoy a cup of tea or water instead, and then have your orange juice afterward. That way, you get all the goodness from both without the trouble. It's an easy fix that keeps your tummy happy. 3. Bacon. Tasty but tough on the heart. Number 3 is bacon. Oh, bacon. It's hard to resist, isn't it? That crispy, smoky flavor can make any meal feel special. I know some of you out there might have gotten creative with your oatmeal, maybe chopping up some bacon and mixing it in for a hearty, savory twist. I've seen it on cooking shows and magazines. They call it a breakfast upgrade. I'll admit, I was curious myself once. A few years back, I thought, why not give it a try? So I cooked up some bacon, crumbled it into my oatmeal, and sat down to enjoy. It tasted good, no denying that, but folks, it's not something we should be doing, especially not as seniors. Here's why bacon and oatmeal don't mix. Bacon is loaded with salt and saturated fat, the kind of fat that's thick and heavy. Just a couple of strips can have more sodium and grease than we need in a whole day. When we were younger, maybe our bodies could shrug that off, but now, our hearts and blood vessels aren't as forgiving. Oatmeal, on the other hand, is a champion for your heart. It's got soluble fiber that sweeps cholesterol out of your system and keeps your arteries clear. But when you throw bacon into the bowl, it's like inviting the enemy to the party. All that fat and salt cancel out the good work oatmeal's trying to do. Over time, it can push your blood pressure up, clog your arteries with plaque, and make your heart beat harder than it should. And at our age, we can't afford to take risks like that. I've got a real story for you here. My old pal George, who's 75, used to love his bacon oatmeal mornings. He'd fry up a few strips, mix them in, and brag about how it was his secret to a happy life. He'd laugh and say, "A little bacon never hurt anybody." But then he started feeling short of breath, and his doctor checked him out. His cholesterol was sky high, and his blood pressure was creeping up too. The doctor asked about his diet, And when George mentioned the bacon oatmeal combo, the doctor said, "That's your problem right there." George had to cut it out, start taking pills, and watch his diet like a hawk. He told me later, "I wish I'd known sooner. I thought I was eating healthy with the oatmeal. It was a tough lesson, folks." So, let's be smarter than that. If you want something tasty with your oatmeal, skip the bacon and try a handful of nuts. Walnuts or almonds are my favorites. They give you a nice crunch and some healthy fats that actually help your heart instead of hurting it. Or slice up a banana or some strawberries for a little sweetness. You'll still love your breakfast without putting your health on the line. For brown sugar, sweet doesn't mean safe. Fourth on my list is brown sugar. This one's a sneaky little troublemaker because it tricks us into thinking it's better for us. Brown sugar has that rich, molasses-y taste, and it looks wholesome compared to white sugar, like something you'd see in a health food store. I fell for it too, folks. For years, I'd scoop a big spoonful of brown sugar onto my oatmeal, thinking I was making a smarter choice than regular sugar. I'd tell myself, it's got minerals, it's natural, it's fine. But here's the truth I wish I'd known sooner. Brown sugar is still sugar, just dressed up a little fancier. When you sprinkle brown sugar on your oatmeal, it's adding a big dose of sweetness on top of the carbs already in the oats. Back in the day, maybe we could handle that without a problem. But as seniors, our bodies don't bounce back from sugar spikes the way they used to. It hits your blood sugar fast. You might feel a quick burst of energy, but then you crash, feeling tired and foggy. I've felt it myself. I'd eat my sugary oatmeal, and an hour later, I'd be yawning at the kitchen table. Over time, that roller coaster can strain your system and even lead to diabetes, which is something we need to watch out for. Plus, too much sugar wears down your whole body. It can make your bones weaker, your joints archier, and your energy lower. And we're already fighting those battles as we age. Let me tell you about my cousin Betty. She's 69 and lives up in the next town. Betty loved her oatmeal with brown sugar every morning. She'd heap it on, say it was her comfort food, and that the brown sugar made it healthier than syrup or white sugar. But a couple of years ago, she started feeling off. Shaky hands, always tired, just not herself. She went to her doctor, and he checked her blood sugar. It was higher than it should be, and he told her she was at risk for diabetes if she didn't change her ways. When she mentioned her brown sugar habit, he said, "That's gotta go. It's undoing all the good from the oatmeal." She was stunned, folks. She had no idea. Now she switched to fruit, and she says she feels like a new person. So, here's the better way. Folks, ditch the brown sugar and go natural. Mash up a banana, chop some apples, or toss in a handful of berries if you've got them. They'll sweeten your oatmeal without sending your blood sugar on a wild ride. It's simple, it's delicious, and it keeps you feeling steady all morning long. 5. Fatty cheese, too rich for our good. Last but not least is fatty cheese. Think cream cheese, those melty processed slices, or anything rich and gooey. I know some of us love that creamy, savory flavor. And maybe you've tried spreading a little cheese on your oatmeal to shake things up. I've seen it in recipes online. They call it savory oatmeal, and it looks so tempting. I almost tried it myself once after flipping through a magazine at the doctor's office. I thought, well, cheese is tasty, oatmeal's healthy, why not? But folks, I'm glad I held off, because this combo is one we need to steer clear of as seniors. Here's the scoop. Fatty cheese is loaded with calories and saturated fat, the thick, heavy kind that sticks around. Just a small amount can pile on more fat than we need in a whole meal. Oatmeal's supposed to be our friend. It helps us stay trim, lowers cholesterol, and keeps our hearts running smoothly. But when you mix in fatty cheese, it's like putting a big roadblock in front of all those benefits. The fat stacks up, your cholesterol can climb, and your heart has to pump harder to keep up. And at our age, we can't afford to stress our hearts out. Plus, digestion gets trickier as we get older. I know I feel it sometimes after a big meal. And cheese with oatmeal can sit in your stomach like a brick, leaving you bloated or queasy for hours. I've got a real-life example for you. My friend Clara, who's 73, decided to get adventurous with her oatmeal a while back. She'd seen some TV chef mixing cream cheese, so she gave it a shot, stirred a big dollop into her bowl every morning for weeks. She loved the taste, but she started noticing she felt heavy and tired all the time, like she couldn't get going. Then her doctor checked her cholesterol at her annual visit, and it had jumped way up, higher than it had been in years. He asked what she'd been eating, and when she told him about the cream cheese oatmeal, he said, "Clara, that's your culprit, too much fat." She had to stop, and it took months of careful eating to get her numbers back down. She told me, "I thought I was being healthy. Turns out I was clogging myself up." So let's keep it light, folks. Instead of fatty cheese, try a spoonful of plain yogurt, no sugar added, or a tiny bit of nut butter if you've got some. They give you that creamy texture without weighing you down or hurting your health. It's an easy switch that keeps your oatmeal doing what it's meant to do, keeping you strong and spry. My tips for enjoying oatmeal the right way. All right, everyone. Now that we've tackled the 5 things to avoid, let me share some simple ways to make oatmeal your best friend. It's such a wonderful food, and we don't want to miss out on all it can do for us. First, mix in some fresh fruit. Bananas are my go-to because they're soft, sweet, and easy to mash up, but apples, berries, or even a sprinkle of raisins work too. They add flavor and keep your digestion humming along. Second, toss in a few nuts, walnuts, almonds, or pecans if you like them, for a little crunch and some healthy fats that boost your heart instead of bogging it down. If you enjoy milk with your oatmeal, go for something unsweetened. Regular milk, almond milk, or soy milk are all great picks. The goal is to keep it gentle and easy on your body so you can stay active, feel good, and enjoy your days. Why not try one of these tomorrow morning and see how it feels? I bet you'll love it. Wrapping it up. So, there you go, folks. Sweetened condensed milk, orange juice, bacon, brown sugar, and fatty cheese are the 5 things we should never mix with our oatmeal. At our age, staying healthy is everything. It's how we keep dancing with our grandkids, tending our gardens, or just enjoying a quiet morning on the porch. Little changes like these can help us live longer, feel better, and make the most of every day. I hope you found this helpful, and maybe you'll tweak your oatmeal routine next time you sit down to eat. If you like this video, please give a thumbs up, share it with your friends or family. Maybe watch it together over coffee. And drop a comment below. Tell me how you like your oatmeal, or if you've ever tried any of these combos yourself. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. Take good care of yourselves, stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next video.